So, good evening. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sugar and Spice Talk Series. In this 2 hour evening, we will introduce three Asian presenters, with each speaking on a sexuality related topic for 15 minutes each. After their session, there will be a Q&A session. And then afterwards, there will be a fun activity for participants during this event. So at the end of the session, Martha will present a sex toy sponsored by Pink Lifestyle. So something about Pink Lifestyle. Pink Lifestyle offers a wide range of lingerie, personal massage equipment, lubricants, and aromatic body oils. They carry top brands around the world, from Japan, UK, and USA, each with their own distinctive culture and definition of design and innovation. Our mission, or their mission, is simply based on careful selection of products with the best quality at the most affordable prices. Ultimately, their aim is to bring couples closer together in the most direct manner. It is their goal to help them feel good about themselves and to draw their inner beauty. So Pink Lifestyle is a premier reseller of Lilo from Sweden, Womanizer, We Vibe and Fun Factory from Germany, Lovens from the USA, Tenga and Iroha from Japan. They're also a key distributor of the sophisticated Anemu lingerie brand with more than a few thousand designs to choose from. So for tonight's S&Sx session, our theme is violence. So before we start, I would like to share I would like to share some facts about our first speaker. So our first speaker will be talking about searching validation in all the wrong places. Um, Madame Rouge is the founder of Maison Rouge, a woman-focused space based in Bangkok, Thailand. She has tan skin, red shoulder-length hair with bangs, and she is currently wearing a black top. She is sporting minimal makeup, wearing winged eyeliner, and has bleached eyebrows. So let me give the floor now to Madame Rouge.
There's a saying that goes like this: men use love to get sex, and women use sex to get love. Well, why is that the case? There is some truth to it. As women, we want to know that we are pretty enough, that we are sexy enough, that we are fuckable. And one of the easiest ways to find that validation is through sex. If a man or woman finds you attractive enough to have sex with, then you must be sexy and worthy of love, right? Let me just start by saying this. There's nothing wrong with being sexy. Women are strong, beautiful, and full of sex appeal. The problem comes when we think our sexiness is the only thing that defines us. Women often seek external validation through men. I feel worthy because you are willing to have sex with me. This is not healthy because it means without outside validation, the person feels unworthy and undesirable. Today, I want to share some of my experience with you as a woman and talk about how our need to use sex as a way to feel wanted, desired, loved, or validated can have detrimental effects on our self worth, in hopes that my past experiences can lead to change that results in self love and ultimately healthy relationships. So, the big question is, why do we use sex as the ultimate validation? To put it more bluntly, why do we use the act of filling holes to feel whole? Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. Like many other addictions, sex may temporarily take away feelings of anxiety, loneliness, and even our insecurities. But that feeling doesn't last. It all stems from a low self esteem and a lack of self love. This often begins in childhood, whether it is due to being neglected, overly criticized, emotionally or sexually abused, especially if the trauma happened at a particularly vulnerable time. The earliest trauma I remember started when I was 12. I joined a new school in a new city. Like many other kids my age, I was going through an awkward phase, trying to figure out my own identity. I was relentlessly bullied and made fun of. Every single day, I would get pushed around or be the target of another stupid prank. But the physical abuse was nothing compared to the daily verbal assault, the name calling, the laughter, the jokes, the comments. You're so ugly. You're weird. You're disgusting. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. You should kill yourself. Even as a confident and happy child with loving parents who told me I was good enough, when every voice around you was telling you otherwise, day in and day out, you start to doubt yourself. You start to believe them. Maybe I am hideous and undesirable. Maybe I don't deserve to be loved. Maybe I should just kill myself. All I wanted was someone to tell me that I was beautiful. I wanted to feel wanted. And then he came into my life when I was at my most vulnerable. He preyed on all my insecurities. I was just 14 years old, and he was an adult man. To him, I was young, inexperienced, and malleable. To me, it was finally someone who wanted me, even if there were strict rules I had to follow. He told me I was very mature for my age, and I would do anything to prove to him that he was right. It was my first sexual experience with another human being. It taught me that sex is about pleasing the other person, that I'm just an object, that it's easier to just say yes and close my eyes, because saying no never worked. And this became a pattern, to actively seek out people who treat me like my abusers, because they're the only people who made sense, the people I think I deserve. I could go back and blame the kids who bullied me years ago, or the man who groomed me and took advantage of me. But the fact is that I'm the only person who can break the cycle. What I needed was to learn how to say no and mean it. I needed to learn how to set boundaries and to love myself and find validation from within. I know what you're thinking. It's easier said than done. It's difficult to see the truth when you're living in the lie. No woman thought to themselves, when I grow up, I want to be in an abusive relationship. No one wants to believe that they are the victim. From an early age, women are taught to be people-pleasing, accommodating, nurturing, and self-sacrificial. Knowing how to compromise is fundamental in any healthy relationship. But where do we draw the line between the giving and the taking? For the longest time, I would jump from one toxic relationship to another. I would do everything I was told to do, hoping that if I never said no, they would see my worth and appreciate me. I would endure 100 awful experiences because all it took was that one moment where they would hold me, apologize, and make me feel special, for me to ignore all warning signs and be ready to take their abuse all over again. Over time, I became primed to expect manipulative, controlling, and abusive people to enter my life. People who just take and never give back. I ended up putting myself in degrading situations, in dangerous situations. I've slept with people I shouldn't have slept with, and people I didn't want to sleep with, because that was how I valued myself. I thought my body was all I had of worth to offer. I wonder what would happen if I removed sex from the equation. Would those same people still want to spend time with me? Would they still think I'm enough? People with extensive trauma tend to have great difficulty setting boundaries. When people betray your trust and cross your boundaries, especially at an early age, it's hard. It's hard to figure out how to put them back in place. But just because people took our power away in the past, it doesn't mean we can't get it back. It's still in there. We just need to look deep within and find it. And once we do, we need to hold on to it, cherish it, use it. Use that power to say no. Say no to things that don't enrich our lives. Say no to situations that make us uncomfortable. Say no to people who don't have our best interests at heart. The more you say no now, the easier it will be to say no when you really need to. But this vicious cycle of toxic behavior and even more toxic relationships can't end until we're ready to finally recognize it and admit it. Sex should not make us feel empty, dirty, or ashamed. We deserve better. We also deserve to forgive ourselves from the mistakes we've made in the past and learn from them. Only then will we be able to move forward and begin to heal. Most importantly, we must be willing to listen to the voices of reason and concern from our loved ones, no matter how hard to hear their critiques and advice may be. It took my best friend, someone I cared for and looked up to, telling me that she was disappointed in me, that she didn't recognize the person I was becoming, for me to finally stop and reflect on my crumbling life. We must be willing to take back control of our life, to push away our old, naive, adolescent attempts at finding social acceptance. The fear that everyone will suddenly not want to be around you, it's fine, because those are not the people you want around you anyway. Life is too short to be surrounded by people who don't appreciate you. Redirect your time and energy to making better interactions. Removing those people opens up room for real friends, those who want to spend time with you for your conversation, your fun energy, and your laughter. As people respond positively to traits that other than your sex, those traits will grow stronger. You'll then begin to invest in other parts of yourself beyond just looking sexy or being available for sex. And before you know it, suddenly your friend circle will be full of like-minded, confident, and authentic people who view you as a peer. The road to self-love is a journey. It takes time and it is ongoing. But trust me, it will happen. And when it does, it is so rewarding. At times, my past trauma still comes back to haunt me. The unhealthy way I viewed sex for so long still affects my current relationships to this day. But I have come such a long way since that child who desperately just wanted to be wanted. My new path started when I stopped using my sexuality as a defining characteristic. I went on a lot of first dates and very few second dates. I listened to my intuition and paid attention to red flags early on. I started to treat my body with respect and tuned into my desires. I also found that I had more mental capacity to focus on my own business ventures and my overall well-being. I take that past with me on my new path, but I am aware of how my past experiences, good or bad, crafted the person I am today. Today, I'm happily married to a partner who supports me unconditionally and loves me for who I am, trauma, flaws, and all. I'm surrounded by family and friends who have celebrated with me through my highs and guided me through my lows. I now operate a business with the sole purpose of helping other women learn and heal and explore their own sexuality. I've learned to make my needs and my happiness a priority because our own happiness is nobody's responsibility but ourselves. And in the end, our relationship with ourselves is the most important one. I didn't always love myself, but at 35 years old, I can confidently say that I am beginning to fall in love with who I am and who I'm becoming. If I can go back in time and speak to my insecure teenage self or to anyone going through tough times, this is what I would say. Remember, nothing lasts forever. All the bad things that have happened to you or will happen to you, they will pass, and you are strong enough to overcome them. And all the good things and opportunities will also pass if you don't hang on to them, treasure them, and nurture them. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are resilient. And most of all, you are good enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Rouge, for that wonderful presentation. For any questions, you may ask them now. There's a comment. Dr. Martha said, "Thank you. That was very heartfelt."
Thanks, Dr. Martha, for this opportunity.
There's a question. How long did it take before you started overcoming the trauma of being taken advantage of?
To be honest, it wasn't like all in one go. It was a work in progress for a really long time. And like I said, it's still ongoing. Um, there'd be moments where I feel like I am stronger. I love myself. And I would date someone that treats me well. And then the next person comes along, treats me like shit, and back right it like that again. I go back into the same pattern. So I can't say I've completely overcome everything, but it took a while. And I think with age, hopefully wisdom also comes along. So I mean, I've been with my partner now for over 5 years. Um, and I guess mid 20s, starting around mid to late 20s was when I really started to only be with people that appreciate me.
So another question is, how do you feel now? Are there still remnants of that trauma you've experienced? How are you
Um,
dealing with that trauma?
yes, there is for sure. Um, it creeps up on you sometimes. Uh, like all trauma, it's hard to just say, okay, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. You know, you can't pack it away. You can see therapists, but it does occasionally creep up on you. And little things, especially like being bullied, all of that, it lasts. It turns, it's at that age, everything that happens to you becomes defining in who your personality, who you are as a person, your personality. So I think a lot of the lasting like negative effects, most of it has been I have overcome, but there still are some lingering ones. But the positive effect lasted a lot more. Now I am, people that do know me, I'm a very happy person. I'm a very confident person. I can talk about these difficult things because I have moved past them, and they are what made me who I am today. So I appreciate that I like went through that and was able to grow from it and to learn from it.
Okay, last question. Would you say there are moments of closure ever?
Ah, I mean, I would say I don't know if closure is the right word. For example, there are like people that that have bullied me, or people that I have been in that were I was in abusive relationships with. There's some of them that I still like, I'm not friends with them, but I would still like run into them, see them. And I guess the fact that no, there's no closure. That's the answer. I would say if maybe because I didn't head like face to face confront them, maybe because I see them and to them, you know, they were young or whatever. They don't even realize the impact that it does have on the other person. You know, so until they recognize it and come up to me and be like, "I'm sorry I did this to you," I don't think you'll get closure. But I have moved on. Am I trying, like, I don't need it, I don't think. So I'm not trying to hunt down all my childhood bullies and like sit them down to be like, okay, apologize to me for this. If they don't recognize it, if they don't realize that that's what they were doing, then it's not my job either to teach them.
So no further questions now. So thank you so much for that heartfelt sharing, Madame Rouge.
Thank
So
you.
thank